Hey, it is the beginning of a new reading vlog, and I actually had started this reading vlog a while back, but I just gave up on it because it was not a fun time. Let me tell you, the books that I read were Finale and Two Twisted Crowns, which were the end of the Caraval trilogy and the Shepherd King duology, and I just didn't like them. I didn't like either one of them. So I think they were both 3 stars, and I was in a bad mood. I was not really feeling it, and I was like, forget it. So we are restarting this today, and the reason I'm starting it right now is because I'm gonna start reading. So we have 2 books for now. The first one is The Ashes on the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent, which is the ending of this duology, the Crowns of Nyaxia duology. And I'm excited about it. It is really long though, so we'll see how that goes, but I hope it's good. I really think that I will like it because I read the novella and I really loved Lilith and Vel, and they're gonna be in this book, so I don't know, I feel like I'll just like it more now that there's more characters that I like. And then the other book that I want to get through is Ruthless Vows, which is book 2 and the final book in the Letters of Enchantment duology. So we're gonna read them, rate them, and rank them, although these are duologies, so it's either the first one was better or the second one was better, but yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna start with The Ashes on the Star-Cursed King though, because I just want some vampires in my life right now, so I'm gonna start with that one, and of course I'll be keeping you updated as we go along. Good morning. It is bright and early and many days later, probably weeks later to be honest, because I have been reading this book so slowly. I mean, it's okay, but it's nothing super special. So if you're not familiar with this world in this book, we follow Araya and Rain, and Araya is a half human, half vampire, and Rain's a full vampire. In book 1, we follow them as they go through this like big tournament where at the end the winner is going to receive a wish from the vampire goddess Nyaxia. And yeah, book 1's like enemies to lovers. There's the tournament. I really liked book 1. Book 2 though, we're not gonna get the tournament. Oh, do you hear that? Here comes Butters. We live next to like a harbor, and there's cruise ships that take off from here, and that was the Horns, and Butters always runs to go watch them. But anyway, yeah, so obviously in this book we're not gonna get the tournament because that was a book 1 thing. So the way that book 1 ended, we literally just start off from there, and I was curious to see how it was gonna go because book 1, the way that it ended was kind of like a big deal, you know. And so when I went into this one, I was thinking like it was just gonna be crazy and chaotic, and like a lot of stuff was gonna happen, and like stuff did happen, but it wasn't really crazy or chaotic in my opinion. We have still the bloodborne vampires are in here in the House of Night, and yeah, essentially the romance has dwindled down, has fizzled out, because at the end of book 1, you know that they really, you know, she's mad at him and he's like, oh dang, I messed up. So there's really not a whole lot of romance because she's kind of just mad at him and he's kind of just letting her be. And yeah, I feel like I really like the romance in book one, and it's absent in this one. And then the conflict that's happening right now is pretty, like, we just got into the action. Like, action just happened, and I am halfway. I'm in part 5 now. This book is told in parts, so we're gonna get 6 parts, just like 6 Scorched Roses. And I am literally in part 5 now, and halfway through this very, very thick book, and we're finally getting some action. So now that they're teaming up and we're getting the action, I'm wondering if now it's gonna be like fast paced to the end and I'm gonna be super invested. I really hope so, because so far it's kind of been dragging for me. I'm kind of feeling like I just want to get through it, but I am hopeful that now that the action is starting, I'm gonna get really into this and it's gonna be awesome. So I will keep you updated. I'm back, and we are like, there's literally no more daylight, but I'm hoping that the camera will power through and give us something, because I'm finally done with this. And let me tell you, I am so relieved that I'm finally done with it. It did not give what I thought it was going to give. I thought that it was going to turn around and just like give me everything that I was waiting for, and it did not. But let's talk about it. I definitely expected this one to be the better of all the books that I read for this reading vlog, and I'm so disappointed. It really was not it. I was warned by one of you, by Summer, that she hadn't loved it, and I was like, well, hopefully I still will. But no, she was right. You were right. Let's talk about what I did like. First of all, I did like Oraya's little like exploration with herself and realizing and coming to terms that she is half human, half vampire, and exploring her powers. I thought that was cool. I really liked when she summoned her wings and then she was like flying around and she was so happy. I thought that was really cool, but I feel like we should have explored a little bit more. I felt like, I don't know, I guess I thought because she was this hybrid that she was going to be really powerful, because they kind of made it seem like she was going to be really powerful just because she was Vincent's daughter to begin with. And I felt like we didn't really explore all that. I mean, yes, we did get the vibe that she was powerful, but we kind of just got told, essentially, like when she gets the god's blood and stuff, like only she could have done that, but really because she was Vincent's daughter. So I thought that was cool. I would have liked more. Another thing that I thought was really cool and I would have liked more of was the fact that she met her human family, and she, you know, kind of got to learn a little bit more about her mom and her mom's life and like the things that she would do, the goddess that she would serve, which was, what's her name? Acacia, I think is how you say it. And I wish that we had explored that more, because her aunt obviously was also a follower of Acacia and healed Oraya and had these abilities that Oraya found impressive for a human. So I think it would have been really cool if they like, I don't know, if Oraya like also decided to learn these things, which I'm assuming she might, I don't know. But also because this is just a duology, and now Carissa has said that she's going to go on and give us 2 more duologies, one following the Nightborn vampires and one following the Bloodborne vampires. Is this it? Like, was this it? Because if it is kind of disappointing, especially because in the little novella, we get introduced to Lilith and Vel. And I thought they were just going to be so much more prevalent in this book, and they weren't. Lilith was like gone for most of the book. She was in it for a little bit, and she really played no part in the story. And Vel was in it a little bit more, but he was very much side character, background character. Nothing really interesting happened with Vel. So that was kind of disappointing, because we had this little novella, right? So I don't know, I just thought that they were going to be more important than what they were, especially Lilith. Like, I thought she was gonna befriend Oraya and like they were gonna bond. I don't know, but that didn't happen, so that was also disappointing. But at least we got to see them. So things that I didn't like, there were so many. I mean, overall it was just underwhelming, but first of all, the villains. I felt like the bad guys were just, I don't know, they were just not the greatest villains ever. Very underwhelming villains, to be honest. Simon was just so stupid. Like, every time he was on the page, I was just like rolling my eyes. And then what Septimus did to him, I mean, I guess, but it was just like, it just made him seem like he went from very like mid bad guy to just like, really, like, Septimus did this to you, like, what good are you? What good are you as a bad guy? So yeah, I know that he like fought Rain and stuff, but underwhelming. I didn't love it. I did like the like middle part, like the middle battle, more than the final battle, which I thought that we were gonna get this like Iron Flame level final battle. If you read Iron Flame, that you know what I'm talking about. At the end, like, shit goes crazy. Like, it was so good, at least to me. I really liked Iron Flame, but the final battle in Iron Flame, I was like all about, and I thought so much happened. They gave us so much, and I thought that's what was gonna happen here, but it was just so disappointing. Like, the final battle, what final battle? Like, I felt like the whole book led up to Uriah and Rain finding this God's blood, and it was gonna do like wonders. It was gonna win the war for them, and it low-key did, but that is not what I was expecting. Definitely not what I was expecting, because essentially nothing happened. I felt like, I thought Uriah was gonna be such a badass and we were gonna see all these like amazing powers, and no, in the end she just kind of gives up the God's blood, doesn't use it, that nothing happens with it. I really want more of the gods. I feel like we've seen 3 of them so far, and I just want the White Pantheon to get involved, and Nyaxia to like get pissed, and Acacia to be like, calm down. So yeah, like I said, mid-book, but let's rank them. So again, these are duologies, so the rankings aren't going to be super exciting, but we do have 3 books here because we have that novella that I'm gonna count. So at number 1, I would put The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Definitely the one that I enjoyed the most. The banter, the romance, the will they, won't they, the tournament, I really loved all that. Uriah's relationship with Victor, it was really good. I gave that 4.5 stars and I stand by it. I had a really good time. At number 2, I think I also gave it 4 or 4.5 stars. 6 Scorched Roses, the novella. I've never liked a novella that much. It was so short. It was under 200 pages, but fully fudged out. Like, so good. I really, really liked it. Really upset that we didn't really get more of Lilith and Vel. And then at number 3, at 3 stars, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. It was just very mid. Very mid. An underwhelming conclusion and such a long book. So yeah, that will be our number 3. I need a break. I'm gonna go probably like veg out on the bed, watch a Netflix show, probably a K-drama, and I will resume reading tomorrow. Hopefully Ruthless Vows comes through for me, because I thought that this one was gonna be better than Ruthless Vows, but now I'm just like putting everything on Ruthless Vows because yeah, let's just hope. Good morning, it's a new day. And I'm up and ready for the day because my husband left to work, and I figured I just chat because I did start Divine Rivals, so that's good news. And last night I forced myself to read as much as I could because I just haven't been into this book. Like, I started it a couple days ago, and I just it's slow. It's slow. It's also told in parts, which is kind of cool. Like, I can't believe both of the books that I've been reading are told in parts. We have 4 parts in this one, and I'm literally pages away from finishing part 2. How far am I actually from finishing part 2? this much. So I guess like, I don't know, it's gotta be a bit. 176 and I'm on 136, so like 40 pages away. And so far it's okay. It is definitely better than Divine Rivals in my opinion, because the only thing that I actually liked for Divine Rivals was the romance. But that wasn't enough for me, because if I wanted just romance, I'd read a romance book, and this is supposed to be romantasy. So yeah, so far it's okay. Part 1 was low-key boring, not gonna lie. Like, really nothing happened. If you read Divine Rivals, then you know what happened. It's kind of hard to talk about these because I can't really talk about book 2 without spoiling book 1, but I'm gonna try. I've also been thinking, like, should I just do spoilery reading vlogs? I don't know. But anyway, so in Divine Rivals, we follow Iris and Roman as they work in the same job. They're journalists, and they, work at a newspaper company, and they are competing for the same position. So they're work rivals, and they end up, or I should say, she ends up quitting, and she goes to a rival paper company, and she ends up going to write as a war columnist. And the reason that that's even needed is because there is a war between the gods. However, we don't get to meet any gods. We really don't even go into the whole war between the gods in book 1. Like, it's very much just Iris leaving and Roman chasing her because he is in love with her. And yeah, there's the letter writing, but essentially they just fall in love in book 1, and we just witness their love, right? Which is beautiful, but no fantasy. In this one, we already have, like, from chapter 1, we're already with a god, so that is an improvement, and he has been in the book the whole time. So yeah, it's definitely better so far for me, but it didn't really start picking up until part 2. So I feel like part 1 was just boring, like nothing happened. But now that Iris is back in the game, back in the job of like going to write about the war, now things are picking up, especially because now she's making contact again with Roman, and doing the whole letter writing thing, which obviously I feel like this is going to be most people's favorite thing, the letter writing aspect. It definitely is one of my favorites. I love reading their letters. I think they are very sweet. So far so good. The pace is slow, but it is not as slow as Divine Rivals. Divine Rivals, I was just like, let's get on with that, girl. But this one is definitely a lot faster. Not fast whatsoever. Don't think that you're gonna like be like, oh my gosh, I flew through this, unless it's your thing. But yeah, I feel like we're not spending a lot of time with the war yet. It's more like, how do you say his name? Dakra? I'm not sure. How could you say the god's name? Dakra? I'm not sure. We're gonna say Dakra. So it's him and Roman mostly, and they're back and forth, and then Iris trying to communicate with Roman but not really wanting to freak him out, since he's not fully aware of everything that's happening. So yeah, so far so good. I will keep you updated. I just finished part 2, and oh my goodness, I am so invested now. Part 1, not gonna lie, it was boring. Nothing really happened, but part 2, it's getting good. The reunion, oh my goodness. Iris and Roman's reunion was it was everything that I wanted it to be. And when he finally remembers, it kind of leaves you like a little cliffhanger at the end of part 2, because he remembers. So I'm thinking part 3 is going to be really, really good. I hope it is. I am so happy that I'm enjoying this now so much. So I'm going to try and read as much as I can before my husband gets home, because I think we're going to go out to dinner. And then I'm planning to just continue on reading, because I've sat at the computer all day. So yeah, I want to read this because it's getting really good, and I'm very shocked. If I had to rate it right now, just like the first half of the book, I think I'd rate it 4 stars just for part 2. I really liked it. So let's keep going. As soon as I stopped recording, he called me. So we're gonna go eat now. I think we're gonna go to Nick's because he says he wants Taco Tuesday. So let's go. We're at Nick's. I really like it here. I always get the same thing. Yummy! These are my favorite, the boom boom shrimp. And I'm gonna get a crab cake like I always do. It is a lazy day today. I thought I was gonna be able to read a lot yesterday, but we went out to dinner and then we got home kind of late. And then I only read a little bit because then we started watching Netflix and we finished Avatar because we hadn't, well, did we finish it? Yeah, I think we finished the season of Avatar. And then I just started watching Netflix. So today I started reading. As you can see, it is a lazy day. And I just started part 4, which is the last part, and oh my goodness. Part 3 was really good. I really like how things are playing out. I feel like part 4 is gonna be amazing. I hope so. I'm very shocked because we all know that I did not love Divine Rivals, but I have thoughts on that, which we'll talk about probably tomorrow when I like wrap this up. But part 4 just started. I literally just read a couple pages, and as soon as she describes the security guard's eyes, I was like, oh my goodness, she's right there. Oh, like if you read it, then you know. But I can't believe I'm loving this. I really think that this, if I had to like rate it, it's gonna be pretty high. It's not gonna be 5 stars. I very much doubt it. Unless part 4 blows me away, it won't be. But I don't know. I'm really liking it, which I'm really happy about because we both know that the first book was just not that great for me. So let's keep going. Good morning. So I literally woke up and got ready, and I'm filming this outro so that you can see this video today. So who knows when I put it up, but I'm gonna try and put it up today because I like to have a video up every Friday at least. So let's talk about Ruthless Vows and how it went. So I have it right here. Let me put down Divine Rivals. Ruthless Vows. So the last time we talked, I was pretty excited. I was pretty into the book, and I was moving into part 4, which was the last part. It was written in 4 parts. And unfortunately, part 4 fell short for me. I didn't really love it. I felt like it was just underwhelming, which I know is like the word of the vlog, underwhelming, but it kind of was. The way that the bad guy was taken down to me was just, it was easy. It was just too easy. I feel like our 2 main characters, while one of them did have like really big involvement in the end, it was still just too easy. I don't know. I am happy that there was some loss, because every time there's war in a book, I think that somebody has to go. I just feel like when everybody survives, it kind of bothers me, which sounds messed up, but you know what I mean, right? As a reader, you know what I mean, is if there's like this terrible war going on, but like everybody seems to magically make it while they're fighting, I don't know. So I am happy with that. Again, Rebecca Ross's writing is beautiful. So the writing was beautiful. There was one quote that I took from here. Let me get my reading journal because I wrote it. And I'm not like a quote girl. I'm not someone who annotates. I don't like annotating. I'm already spending so much time reading that I don't have time to annotate. But the quote from page 346 was, let's see, because I did write like a whole little blurb as I was going through the book. Oh yeah, it's when Dakra is angry at Roman and is confronting him, and he thinks that he did a certain thing that he may or may have not done. But yeah, like Roman just kind of is over it at this point, and he starts kind of arguing back, fighting back. And then one of the quotes that he says is, because Dakra's like, I can't believe you would, like, you humans are so silly, like silly little humans. You're like ruled by your heart, not by your head, like do better basically. And he's like, all of this betrayal for a woman, even though like Roman doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about. And he's like whatever it was, like I would have done it, like I would do it because I love her. And he's literally like, I love Iris E. Winnow. Like, he's saying her whole name, which I thought was really sweet. And then he says, I would betray you 100-fold. I would betray you 1,000-fold for her. And the god ends up getting just pissed. And yeah. But my favorite part for sure was part 2. It was probably the only part that I actually did like a lot. And then part 3 and 4 were okay. I feel like I liked the middle of the book more than the beginning and the end. So like parts 2 and 3 versus part 1 and 4. Because part 1 was boring. Part 4 was a letdown. So yeah, the middle parts. But my favorite was for sure part 2. Like the lead up to them not being together, not talking to each other. And then they start talking to each other. But he doesn't remember her. Like that lead up. And then when they finally meet, that was beautiful. I loved that part. But other than that, it was kind of just it was pretty okay. So I ended up rating this 3.5 stars. So where does that leave us with the ranking of this duology? Again, I want to start this read 'em, rate 'em, rank 'em series, but these are duologies, so there's not a lot in here. I think I'll be doing some author ones. Like I want to read some Emily Henry books, the Ali Hazelwood books. So yeah, I think that'll be better to like read, rate, and rank. But for a duology, so I ended up giving Divine Rivals 3 stars and Ruthless Vows 3.5 stars. So that means that at number 1 I would rate Ruthless Vows, and at number 2 Divine Rivals. And the reason being that I thought this was a romantasy book, so when I or series duology. So when I went into this, I was disappointed with this because I thought it was romantasy, and it is very much romance that reads like historical romance, which obviously it's not historical romance because this is a fake world. So it is romantasy, but it is very much romantasy and not fantasy romance. And in this one, we do get more fantasy. Like, yes, there's the gods and stuff like that. So this was romantasy for sure. Still didn't love it. So yeah, I will be unhauling these, which was very hard for me to decide. I was literally like laying up at night. Do I want to keep them? Do I want to unhaul them? Because I'm being very ruthless with my reads. I've told you all, and I was not playing. I love these covers so much. I think they're so beautiful. They look like the Fairy Loot Special Edition one. These are UK covers. I literally had to order them from the UK, but I don't think I'm gonna keep it because I will never reread these. And they solidified that Rebecca Ross is not for me, and I won't be reading anything else that she writes. Her writing is not for me, so I will be unhauling them and listing them on Pango today. Yeah, so all in all, an okay reading vlog. We had some very mid books, but that's okay because I finished these duologies and now I can move on to new ones, new series. So I'm literally gonna start the next reading vlog right now because I told you I want to do more reading vlogs. So yeah, I'm gonna start it as we speak, and I do have stuff to do today, but I'm gonna start my first book today. Thanks for hanging out. As always, if you did enjoy hanging out with me today, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week with another one. Bye.